the Imperial troops. They're here from the government, and they are here to help. Meanwhile, they're standing very ominously over there by the exit doors. But remember, they're here to help.
I do believe it's about time to introduce our teams, though, Dolly.
That's right, Rich. So it is my pleasure, Rich, to introduce to the audience the 2016 Vaudeville Vixens. Vaudeville Vixens out there on the track tonight skating number 03, One Hit Wanda. Number 10, A Magnitude 10. 1029, Black Velvet. Number 117, Jean du Snark. Number 14, Darling Nikki. 1967, Jocelyn Hell. 1975, Neon Arzak. Number 22, Happy Go Lucky. 24, Shantastic McAwesome. Number 30, Lemon Dropkick. Number 32, Dalek Doll. Number 406, Montana Slammer. Number 49, Donna Stunner. 5150, Berserkly. 750, Whiskey Chase Her. 8008, Feminine Hijinks. And number 9, Kenna Vendetta. Supporting the Vixens on the bench, we have Nefarious, Jurassic Spark, Two Stroke, Smartash, and Daisy Juke. Let's hear it for your 2016 Vaudeville Vixens!
And of course, what would a derby match be without a second team? It's my pleasure to introduce the Vaudeville Vixens' opponents for tonight's bout, the Reservoir Dolls. First off, welcome to the Reservoir Dolls, a mid-season draft, number 11, Mass Myrtle. Next up is number 1213, Knocking Jay. Followed up by number 18, Full Frontal Judity. Next up is number 185, Supernova. Skating into number 2, another mid-season draft of the Reservoir Dolls is Critical Tits. Next we have number 27, Blitz Siren. Number 270 is Cyanide. Next up we have number 31, Lady Hoo-Ha. Followed by number 33, Charlie Hustle. Next we have number 333, that is Tenacious D. Yet another mid-season draft pick for the Res Dolls. We have number 39, Chairman Mao. Next up is number 565, it's the Block Ness Monster. Next up is number 50, The Heat. Next is number 8, Sasspot. Next is number 9, Shenanigans. Followed up by number K155, it's Lip Smacker. And finally we have number W01F, Caller de Wild. The Reservoir Dolls are supported from the bench by Dutch Oven, Wipeout Scout, Hopscotch, Sproutin' a Tail, and Gene Lane. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 Reservoir Dolls!
And we hope y'all will check us out at our after party at the VFW Post at 1318 on Lakeside, just down the road. But we want to also introduce our skating officials for this bout: Zdork, Uno Mas, the Gorram Reaver, Chaotic Neutral, Y.I. Otter, Eddie Lizard, Thaco, and Bjorn to Kill. Non-skating officials are Dread Gazebo, Modus Pawns, Macromaniac, Agru, Squeaky Fromage, Diaphragm, Brazzle Dazzle, Misinformed, Strife of Riley, Dread Gazebo, Shownuff, Jezebel Kitty, Roadblock, Cordova, Mr. Welch, and Death Nelly.
Looks like both of our teams are on the track and ready. We have our skaters down on that Monkey Bar Gym Jammer line. Looks like we're gonna have Black Velvet jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens up against Lady Hoo-Ha for the Reservoir Dolls.
Black Velvet lining up right on the jammer line, meets a wall of Reservoir Dolls, but breaks through there. Black Velvet is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Lady Hoo-Ha working her way through the pack herself. She does get through, however, she is not your lead jammer.
Hot in pursuit of Black Velvet, who is lead jammer. She breaks her way through the pack, calls the jam off, and picks up 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens, keeping the Reservoir Dolls scoreless that jam.
That's right, we'll see what the Reservoir Dolls can do in response here. Looking down to that jammer line, they're gonna have Shenanigans up there jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She is jamming up against number 1967, that's Jocelyn Hell.
And Shenanigans playing a little bit of defense on the Vixen jammer, Jocelyn Hell there, as the Reservoir Dolls form a wall in the back of the pack. Jocelyn trying to go to the outside, work to the inside, back and forth, trying to make her way through the pack.
It looks like Shenanigans slowly starting to make her way forward. However, at the last moment, Jocelyn Hell blows by that inside lane, picking up lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
And Jocelyn Hell Burnell found that inside line well out and around the track, while the Vixens still holding up the Reservoir Dolls jammer, Shenanigans.
Yeah, Vixens did a good job of keeping Shenanigans back just as she does get through, start working on making that scoring pass. Vixens call off the jam, putting 3 more points up on the board. That brings our score to Vaudeville Vixens 7, Reservoir Dolls 0.
And these skaters will be fed at the after party at the VFW Post by our sponsor, Cooper's Tavern. Cooper's Tavern, craft beer and rustic food on the square. Down on the jammer line, we've got Blitz Siren going up against Shantastic McAwesome. Blitz Siren, it looks like donning a little bit of pink there, maybe to confuse the Vixens. And as I say that, she gets around the outside and is lead jammer. Blitz Siren for the Reservoir Dolls. Shantastic McAwesome trying to fight her way past the last of the blockers on the Reservoir Dolls.
It looks like Lip Smacker picking up a penalty on the way, blocking Shantastic McAwesome there. Blitz Siren going to call off the jam as she takes a spill to the outside of the track after picking up 3 points.
Yeah, Dalek Doll knocking her down, but Blitz Siren, smart, calling that jam off, picking up 3 points, leaving the Vixens with 0 that jam. And now we'll have on the jammer line for the Reservoir Dolls, Call It a Wild. She's going to be going up against Kenna Vendetta from the Vaudeville Vixens.
See the Vixens in a defensive formation towards the back of the pack, ready to receive Call It a Wild, working on pushing her back and forth across the middle of the track as their jammer, Kenna Vendetta, trying to do some work against the Resdolls defense. However, she does get recycled to the back of the pack by Lady Hoo-Ha.
She does. She gets knocked to the inside by Lady Hoo-Ha, but stays up on one foot and gets out of the pack. That's Kenna Vendetta, lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
All right, so it looks like we've got the Resdolls jammer. Call It a Wild has gotten through. However, jam is called off by Kenna Vendetta.
Kenna Vendetta hitting the pack and picking up, it looks like 2 points for the Vixens, calling it off.
Now at the last moment in that jam, they did have the Resdolls jammer go to the WRT penalty box.
That'll mean that the Vixens start this jam with a power jam. I'm sorry. It looks like we have both jammers in the penalty box here. So the Vixen jammer was called off because Kenna Vendetta is also sitting there in the WRT penalty box. Both jammers also standing, both probably just serving the amount of time the other one did, which was about a second there. And now we'll have Call It a Wild going up against Kenna Vendetta in another jam, just with some different blockers.
Kenna Vendetta gonna get through, taking lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. Looking back at the pack, we've got Call It a Wild still being held up by some Vaudeville Vixens defense.
That's One Hit Wanda, Jean Du Snark, Donna Stunner, and Whiskey Chaser blocking for the Vixens.
Call It a Wild does get through, gonna start working on her scoring pass. However, she is not your lead jammer.
And
lead jammer is Kenna Vendetta, who's gonna call that jam off, preventing Call It a Wild from getting any additional points.
That's right.
Any
Meanwhile,
points at all in that jam, actually.
And Rich, she picked up 5 points for the Vixens, bringing them up to 14 points. Resdolls at 3 points. So Vixens off to a quick lead here. On the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, we're going to have Vixen jammer Berserkly going up against Resdoll jammer Lip Smacker.
Lip Smacker getting a little bit of a running start to engage the back of the pack there. In the meantime, Berserkly, jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens, going to get through taking lead jam for her team.
And Vaudeville Vixen blockers, Darling Nikki, Neon Arzik, Hoppy Go Lucky, and Dalek Doll holding back Lip Smacker from getting out of the pack. Nice defense there by Darling Nikki. Lip Smacker does make her way through on her first pass, but meanwhile, Berserkly has gotten past her and the pack. Picks up a Minnie Madison Grand Slam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yeah, that's right, Dolly. Looks like she's gonna do it again. Sneaks around the inside, only picking up 4 points though. Didn't pass Lip Smacker on that pass. Lip Smacker still fighting against the Vaudeville Vixens defense at the front of the pack. Almost got by, but the other blockers have managed to cycle in front of her.
And it looks like Darling Nikki is taking Lip Smacker out to about 10 feet and then usually bringing her to the outside and slowing down to a stop as the pack rushes up. And so Lip Smacker having a hard time getting past Darling Nikki, working with the other Vixen blockers there. She does so though on 1 foot on the inside line there, picks up 4 points for the Reservoir Dolls.
That's right, both of these teams working really well together on their offense and defense. Vaudeville Vixens just really seem to be really on point so far in this bout.
And Berserkly picking up 15 points on that jam.
Yep, so we do have a score of Reservoir Dolls 7, Vaudeville Vixens 29, with just over 22 minutes remaining in this first half. It's like Vaudeville Vixens are going to be sending Black Velvet up to jam this jam. She'll be jamming against the Res Dolls' Lady Hoo-Ha.
And Lady Hoo-Ha trying to go for an outside line there, but the Vaudeville Vixens defense holding her back, knocking her to the inside. It looks like Black Velvet was through, but she is called to the WRT penalty box on a forearm penalty.
That does mean Lady Hoo-Ha is now your lead jammer, and also the Reservoir Dolls have a power jam. Lady Hoo-Ha gonna try to sneak around that outside line, met with a full force of Vaudeville Vixens blockers. Gonna start slowing her down, but she's chipping away at that defense. As the pack gets longer and longer, Vixen's trying to spread that pack out. Not gonna hold Lady Hoo-Ha back for long. She does get 4 points and got a, looks like a no pass, no penalty on, didn't quite get that Minnie and Madison Grand Slam.
But it looks like she got around this time and just hunkered down and took that that turn, picking up a Minnie and Madison Grand Slam and 5 points. You can just see the strength that Lady Hoo-Ha has as a jammer as she makes her way through the pack. She makes her way through there, picks up 4 points, and calls off the jam. Lady Hoo-Ha with a 14-point jam there, just what the Reservoir Dolls needed to reduce the Vixens' lead to only 8 points.
Yeah, you can definitely see a lot of focus, a lot of desire to close that gap on Lady Hoo-Ha. You did a great job jamming there, picking up those 13 points. Getting back down to the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, we have Jocelyn Hell jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens up against Charlie Hustle for the Reservoir Dolls.
And Jocelyn Hell takes initially an outside lane, but then cuts to the inside and finds a hole. Getting through, Jocelyn Hell, your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Reservoir Dolls jammer Charlie Hustle out through the pack, trying to catch up, looking to score some points on this pass. However, Jocelyn Hell getting through the pack, picking up 1 point, meeting it with a good deal of Reservoir Dolls resistance, calls off the jam.
Yeah, and right as Jocelyn Hell hit the pack, the Reservoir Dolls picked up speed too, so they wouldn't be a point that she could score. So she does only get 1 point that jam, but Res Dolls, no points that jam. A 10-point lead that the Vixens have, as we have Blitz Siren jamming for the Res Dolls, going up against Shantastic McAwesome.
Definitely a fast-paced game so far, seeing a lot of awesome action down on the track. Can't wait to see how this unfolds. We do have what seems to be an official timeout happening right now. It does give us time to read one of our shout-outs.
We've got one here, Rich, that says, "Hey, Stats, did Ms. Snap make the most points last bout?" And I believe out of all of the jammers that made points in last bout, Ms. Ginger Snap did make, I think it was 55 or 45?
It was definitely close
It
for the top
seemed to
scoring
be
positions, and
about
I know it
the
was
most.
split between the teams.
55, which was the most points.
Yep,
so
you are
congrats
correct.
out there to Ginger Snap.
Well done indeed.
We've also got a shout out here. It says, "I'ma miss you, KJ," with a big ol' heart. That's right, folks. Knocking Jay's last bout with the Reservoir Dolls is tonight before she does leave the team and move away on to bigger and better things. Hopefully.
Yep, so
We're just going to be sad to
we're going to miss her, but we're very excited to be able to see her skate her heart out in one last bout for Mad Rollin Dolls and the Reservoir Dolls. We're getting back down to the action now. We've got Blitz Siren jamming for the Reservoir Dolls up against Shantastic McAwesome for the Vaudeville Vixens.
And both jammers fighting their way against a blocking wall there. It looks like Shantastic McAwesome finds a way with her pink tie flying around the outside there. However, she is determined not to be lead jammer. That goes to Blitz Siren. Blitz Siren is lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls. She finds that out and calls off the jam after looking at the bench.
Yeah,
before
definitely a little bit of a fast, chaotic jam right there. Kind of hard to see who came out where, but as soon as even the skaters on the track figured out, that lead jam, like I'm lead jam and other jammers ahead of me. Better call that one off.
I like seeing this fast-paced derby game, though, Rich. You know,
I
sometimes,
like it too, Dolly.
Sometimes the strategy is to slow down the pack, but we've been having some fast jams, and I know these skaters are athletic, and you can just see their skill and speed. And you can see it as Kenna Vendetta gets out of the pack first, but it looks like, unfortunately, she's going to be called to the penalty box for a track cut penalty, and that means
now we have Lady Hoo-Ha in a power jam, also taking lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls. Lady Hoo-Ha going to re-engage that pack, gets back to the front. A little bit of a tumble up at the front by a Vaudeville Vixen blocker. I believe that was number 406, Montana Slamma. So that means Lady Hoo-Ha picking up a Mini of Madison Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls as she comes back around for another scoring pass.
And Lady Hoo-Ha through the pack again. Her Reservoir Dolls blockers doing a great job on offense there, just coming up on the Vixen blockers. On defense, or on blocking for the Res Dolls, we've got Knocking Jay, Critical Tits, Blockness Monster, and Call It a Wild. Really helping Lady Hoo-Ha get through there. Now focusing back on Kenna Vendetta, who's out of the penalty box. That jam does get called off, with Lady Hoo-Ha scoring 14 points for the Reservoir Dolls, and that means we've just had a lead change, folks. So take a drink if you got some beverage to drink. Reservoir Dolls have 34 points, Vaudeville Vixens with 30.
We'll take a moment here to thank another one of our sponsors, Fast Forward Skate Center. Come on down and discover the fun of roller skating at Fast Forward.
Fast Forward Skate Center, where all of these Derby girls practice to come out here to the Alliant Energy Center and show you what they got. On the jammer line there, we've got Shenanigans jamming for the Reservoir Dolls, going up against Berserkly on the Vaudeville Vixens.
Got Berserkly trying to get out in front here, gets knocked out at the last moment by Charlie Hustle.
Meanwhile, Shenanigans finding an inside line, makes her way through, and she is lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls.
Oh, looks like she is not lead jam.
No, Berserkly is not lead jammer, but I believe Shenanigans is. So she gets through the pack and calls off the jam, picking up maybe a couple points. We'll defer back to the scoreboard there, but calling off the jam before the Vixens can score any points. I do want to thank another one of our sponsors, Rich. I want to thank the High Noon Saloon, voted Madison's favorite live music venue and Madison's favorite place for karaoke. Stop out at the High Noon Saloon.
I'd like to give another shout out to one of our group ticket purchasers. We've got the Max Burn software team here with us tonight. Sound like they're excited. I'm excited too. Thank you all very much for purchasing your group tickets. Coming on down. Hope you're having a great time checking out some roller derby with us and the Mad Rollin' Dolls.
That's right, Rich. We've also got another group, the Madison Knitters Guild here. They do have a booth up across from our merchandise table. MRD skaters have teamed up with the knitters from the Madison Knitters Guild to help knit scarves that will be donated to local women's shelters, such as Days, our Bout sponsor tonight. So be sure to check out their table, set up near the front of the hall.
Looks like we are back down to the action on the track. We're gonna have jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens, Black Velvet. She is jamming against Res Dolls skater, Chairman Mao.
And you had announced before, Rich, Chairman Mao was one of the mid-season draftees on the Reservoir Dolls. Black Velvet, one of the rookies this year for the Vaudeville Vixens. And Black Velvet, folks, is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
That's right, we've got Chairman Mao just barely getting knocked to that inside line by the Vixens defense. She's recycled to the back as Black Velvet gets through, picking up a Mini of Madison Grand Slam and 5 points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Chairman Mao now out of the pack and eligible to score points. Black Velvet into the pack. I see a toe stop or wheel flying there. She falls to the ground and calls that jam off. But Black Velvet picking up 6 points for the Vixens, that jam.
Now, it looks like at the very end of that jam, Black Velvet did end up picking up a low block penalty. So that gives the Reservoir Dolls a power jam going into the next jam. We've got Lady Hoo-Ha jamming for the Res Dolls.
Not necessarily the jammer you want to have a power jam, Rich.
No, the Vaudeville Vixens are going to have a bit of a time keeping her back. They're going to do their damnedest, though. They've got Lemon Drop Kit, Dalek Doll, and Feminine Hijinks up there, blocking, looking to keep Lady Hoo-Ha back. And the rest of the Res Dolls team looking to play some offense, helping Lady Hoo-Ha get through to take lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls. You can see the Vixens blockers setting up a tripod there, looking to try to stop Lady Hoo-Ha. Doesn't quite happen, although she was effectively stopped by picking up a forearm penalty. So
That's
off
right,
to the
Rich,
penalty box she goes. Black Velvet back on the track for the Vixens. So we got a little bit of a swap of power jams here, Dolly.
Now Black Velvet will have a power jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. This jam will go the entire rest of the 2 minutes.
Yep, that's right. Once the lead jammer has gone off to the penalty box, she relinquishes her lead jammer responsibilities, or powers rather.
And it looks like Black Velvet stopping herself there as she almost commits a track cut penalty. Then recycled to the back of the pack by Call It a Wild.
Lady Hoo-Ha released from the WRT back porch radio in Madison penalty box. Both packs seem to be at full strength, back in action as they go around the second turn. However, not for long as Lady Hoo-Ha picks up another forearm penalty, heads back to that WRT penalty box. Must be a cozy seat in there.
Meanwhile, Black Velvet of the Vaudeville Vixens picks up a Minnie of Madison Grand Slam and 5 more points. She makes her way around the track, has one more Reservoir Doll blocker to pass. Looks like she's trying to get a little bit of help from Darling Nikki. Makes her way past for another Minnie of Madison Grand Slam by Black Velvet.
See the Vixens blockers lining up on the outside of the track, ready to dive in to help their jammer get through. However, that timer runs out just as they're getting through. Looks like 2 points scored at the end by Black Velvet there.
That brings her to 12 points scored in that jam against the Reservoir Dolls 3 by Lady Hoo-Ha there. Lady Hoo-Ha's trips to the penalty box, allowing Black Velvet and the Vaudeville Vixens to change the lead again. Now they have 48 points. Reservoir Dolls with 39 points. And hey, if your name is Dustin and you lost your MasterCard, come and let us know.
Yep, we're up here by the American flag, sitting up here talking into the microphones. Every now and again waving a lightsaber around, coming off if you're missing your credit card.
And we're gonna let you know that Lady Hoo-Ha is your lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls, making her way through the pack first. She's jamming against Jocelyn Hell on the Vixens. Jocelyn Hell, though, it looks like is being sent to the penalty box. She'll be sitting in the WORT penalty box while Lady Hoo-Ha gets her chance at a power jam here for 30 seconds.
Vixens blockers aren't looking to make it any easier for her, though. We've got One Hit Wanda, A-Mag, Montana Slamma, and Donna Stunner doing what they can to keep her back. Lady Hoo-Ha, though, gets through, picking up another Minnie of Madison Grand Slam.
That's 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls, changing the lead again now. Lady Hoo-Ha around the track again, trying to make her way past the blockers in this pack. 2 more Vixens to pass. Montana Slamma trying to give her a shut door, but it looks like Lady Hoo-Ha, another Minnie of Madison Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls.
Looks like we have more skaters rotating in and out of that penalty box for both teams.
That's right, Rich. Lots of big hits going on, too. Lady Hoo-Ha makes her way past and jumps over some blockers there. Just skating around the track as fast as she can. The pack has diminished, so I believe it's picking up speed as well once the jammers get in there.
Yeah, things are definitely moving fast out there, Dolly.
Only like 4 blockers out there skating with the jammers, almost at full speed there. Lady Hoo-Ha picking up 19 points for the Reservoir Dolls. And the Reservoir Dolls take the lead now with 62 points. Vaudeville Vixens with 48 though, and we've still got a little under 11 minutes in this first period.
Definitely quite the jam for the Reservoir Dolls, that last jam. Lady Hoo-Ha now pulling into the lead point scoring wise. She has scored 53 points so far this bout.
And Shantastic McAwesome jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens up against Tenacious D. Shantastic McAwesome plays a little bit of defense, gets out of the pack first, and she is your lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls.
Looks like Shantastic McAwesome going to get out in front of the pack, calling off the jam after picking up 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Before Tenacious D can pick up any points for the Reservoir Dolls.
No points up on the board for the Res Dolls.
Not in that jam, but they're leading just by 10 points with 10 minutes to go in this period.
I'd like to read a shout out here from you in the audience. This shout out goes to Savage Life Athletics, specifically their president Dakota and general manager Conroy. Hope you're having a great time at roller derby tonight.
On the jammer line, we've got Lady Hoo-Ha jamming for the Reservoir Dolls, jamming up against Kenna Vendetta for the Vaudeville Vixens. Loch Ness Monster bringing Kenna Vendetta recycled around to the back of the pack.
Some great blocking teamwork there by the Reservoir Dolls, using Knocking Jay to knock the jammer Kenna Vendetta out to the outside, recycling her to the back of the pack, really keeping her back there as Lady Hoo-Ha just is making a round around the track, picking up a few points, meeting with a bit of resistance now. But we do have the Vixens jammer Kenna Vendetta going out to the WRT penalty box for a track cut penalty. She will have 30 seconds to sit and think about what she's done.
Meanwhile, Lady Hoo-Ha will have a power jam, and it looks like she's trying to make her way past the Vixen blockers. She does so, but only after a whole straightaway of struggle. Jean de Snark, Happy-Go-Lucky, Lemon Dropkick, and Dalek Doll out there giving Lady Hoo-Ha as much defense as they can. The Reservoir Dolls, though, coming up to play offense for Lady Hoo-Ha, and that'll be Knocking Jay, Full Frontal Judity, Cyanide, and Loch Ness Monster.
And of course, now we've got all of the Vixens up there blocking Lady Hoo-Ha, keeping her back. In the meantime, Vixens jammer Kenna Vendetta back on the track, fighting up against Knocking Jay, Full Frontal Judity, and the Loch Ness Monster, keeping her towards the back of the pack. Loch Ness recycling Kenna Vendetta to the back.
And it looks like it's a pace line out there rather than a pack. Up, but accordion style, like Derby does, they block it up again. Lady Hoo-Ha getting out of there and getting 5 points for the Reservoir Dolls, picking up 10 points in that jam. The Reservoir Dolls defense really doing a great job holding Kenna Vendetta by knocking her to the outside and the inside, forcing her back, recycled around to the back of the pack there.
Yeah, some really great teamwork happening on behalf of both teams out there. Looking back down to the Monkey Bar Gym Jammer line, we're going to have Charlie Hustle jamming this one for the Reservoir Dolls. She'll be jamming against Berserkly for the Vaudeville Vixens. The jam has begun. A little bit of slow action going on here as Charlie Hustle tries to check Berserkly out to the outside, but picks up a penalty for her troubles.
It looks like that would have been a reverse play block, Rich. So she was blocking Berserkly, moving the wrong direction, and that'll send her to the penalty box. Berserkly picking up lead jammer status for the Vaudeville Vixens and on a power jam now.
That's right, so we're going to see she does get through that pack, picking up a Mini Madison Grand Slam, meaning 5 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens. You can see the Vixens sitting towards the back. They are not only ready to receive Charlie Hustle as she gets out of the penalty box, but ready to help Berserkly get through for another Mini Madison Grand Slam, 5 more points.
That was some nice offense, it looks like, by Feminine Hijinks and Darling Nikki there. One of the two did some offense, now playing defense against Charlie Hustle. Meanwhile, Berserkly around the track again, fighting off the Unholy, I'm going back. The Reservoir Dolls defense there, she does get by and picks up another 4 points.
Sorry, when there's so much derby going through your head, Dolly, it's just sometimes hard to keep it all straight.
And we got a couple Vaudeville Vixen blockers in the WRT penalty box starting this jam. They've got 66 points on the board. Reservoir Dolls with 72 and a little over 5.5 minutes to go in this second period, in this period of the bout. We've got Black Velvet jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens going up against Chairman Mao of the Reservoir Dolls.
Looks like Chairman Mao picked up a track cut penalty. This means that Black Velvet is not only your lead jammer, but she has a power jam. Really kind of ducking down low around that turn, picking up as much speed as she can as she slams into the back of the Res Dolls blockers. Res Dolls blockers kind of coalescing around her, keeping her back, knocking her down. We've got Blitz Siren up to the front, keeping Black Velvet out. She does get by, picks up a Mini Madison Grand Slam.
And we had One Hit Wanda there playing a little bit of offense for the Vaudeville Vixens, or for the Vaudeville Vixens jammer, Black Velvet. Now we got Darling Nikki up there knocking the Resdoll wall around so that Black Velvet can get through and pick up another Minnie and Madison Grand Slam. 5 more points for the Vixens. And that's right, Rich, another lead change.
Oh, what a great bout we have going on here, Dolly. Looks like we have a star pass. Was that a star pass or no? I think that might have just been a...
Chairman Mao
that was
stashing
a
the star as she got out of the penalty box and then reapplying.
Sneaky on us there, Dolly.
A nice jam by Black Velvet and the Vaudeville Vixens, picking up 14 points, and their points now are up to 80 points. Reservoir Dolls with 72, they take the lead. We do have a shout out here to One Hit Wanda. It says, One Hit Wanda is my spirit animal, 100%. 100%. So that one goes out to you, Wanda. We also got a shout out saying bye Girl Scout cookies. That's right, Rich. It's Girl Scout cookie time.
Oh, nom, 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 nom.
What are your favorite Girl Scout cookies, Rich?
I am a big fan of the peppermint patties. I know everybody really likes that one, but
the Thin Mints.
The Thin Mints,
Yes.
the Thin Mints, my mistake. But they're also, I have a soft spot for peanut butter.
Oh, then you like what used to be called Do-si-dos and are now called something else.
I don't know what they're called aside from delicious.
The chocolate-covered ones, yeah.
They are fantastic. What are your favorites, Dolly?
Well, I like the Samoas, but now they call them Caramel Delights or something like that. And I want to thank one of our sponsors, too, Gail Ambrosia's Chocolatier. They've got fine chocolates, handmade, at 2086 Atwood Avenue in Madison.
All right,
but let's get back to the Derby action.
Let's do, Dolly. We've got Jocelyn Hell jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's jamming against Knocking Jay for the Reservoir Dolls. Knocking Jay getting through, taking a lead jam for her team.
Knocking Jay around the track. And it looks like there's been a star pass from the Vaudeville Vixen jammer Jocelyn Hell to the pivot, One Hit Wanda. One Hit Wanda, now the jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. But before she can get back to the pack there, Knocking Jay calls off the jam. My mistake, Rich. It looks like One Hit Wanda did get back to the pack, picked up 2 points there for the Vaudeville Vixens.
All right.
Meanwhile, Knocking Jay picking up 4 for the Reservoir Dolls.
Well, that goes well with this shout out that I have right here. It says, welcome, One Hit Wanda fans.
Welcome, One Hit Wanda fans. We must have a fan club out there for One Hit Wanda. I see them.
If you're a fan club, feel free to head on over to the merchandise table. Pay $1. You can shout out your love to your favorite skaters, teams, announcers, whatever your fancy
or whatever
is.
you want to say.
Yeah, you can give a shout out to our lovely Bout charity days, to which all of the proceeds of these shout outs will be going. We do have an official timeout happening here, giving us a moment to thank another one of our sponsors, Ian's Pizza. Ian's Pizza, 2 downtown locations offering carryout and delivery. Salad, pizza, vegan and gluten-free options. Check out www.ianspizza.com. Here to help, one slice at a time.
I'm getting hungry.
Oh, you and me both, Dolly.
We got 5 seconds till the action starts here, and jamming for the Reservoir Dolls is Shenanigans going up against One Hit Wanda for the Vaudeville Vixens. It looks like One Hit Wanda did end the last jam, though, being called to the penalty box. So that'll give Shenanigans and the Reservoir Dolls a power jam.
Got the Vixens blockers up there. We've got, looks like Hoppy Go Lucky, Dalek Doll, and that's
Darling
Dalek
Nikki. Yep. Neon Arzik bridging so that 3-wall can try and hold Guns back. But Shenanigans gets through, and she is lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls.
Yep, she's going to be coming around on her scoring pass. However, Vixens jammer One Hit Wanda out of the penalty box, looking to be a threat on this track. We've got Shenanigans back up, dealing with those Vixens blockers at the front of the pack. Trying to juke back and forth, but there's a nice tripod of defense going. Going to try to recycle Guns out to the outside.
And it looks like One Hit Wanda now out of the pack too, but Shenanigans gets through on her point scoring pass and decides to call that jam off. I did notice One Hit Wanda had gotten out of bounds, semi out of bounds as she passed a player, entered the track, but then left the track to go back around so that she neglected to get a track cut penalty. And that's right, folks, that's because we've got some beta rules testing going on for a proposed rules revision. The no pass, no penalty rule is proposed to be implemented rather than just a track cut whenever a body part enters the track in bounds. But, Rich, let's get back to the track action.
Let's do. We've got Blitz Siren getting out first, jamming for the Reservoir Dolls, taking lead jam. She is jamming against Shantastic McAwesome, who is on her way to the WRT penalty box for a track cut penalty.
That'll leave the Reservoir Dolls and Blitz Siren with a power jam. Blitz Siren getting past A Magnitude 10 and Feminine Hijinks to pick up a Minia Madison Grand Slam and 5 points for the Reservoir Dolls. She races around the track again and on her toe stops, gets past that blocking wall there and picks up another Minia Madison Grand Slam.
That does give us another lead change as Blitz Siren puts the Reservoir Dolls up to 90 points to the Vaudeville Vixens 82. Looks like we have that penalty box starting to empty. We have Shantastic McAwesome back on the track. Got Blitz Siren still fighting against the Vaudeville Vixens blockers. Gonna call off that jam as she can't get by. Shantastic McAwesome coming around to threaten her. Coming around to the end of the first half, I'd like to remind you all that we do have an ice melt contest that we will be having. So we'll be corralling.
What?
Yeah, we have blocks of ice with stuff in them, some of them stuff in them. And whoever can melt their block of ice with their hands fastest will win a prize.
Is this for everyone, Rich, or just kids?
That, I believe that is just for kids, Dolly. And in
All
fact,
right.
with that, we are now at halftime. So anybody, any children, kids interested in this ice melt contest, please meet us over in front of the blue table in the scoreboard. I will be over there waving my lightsaber. In the meantime, we're going to have another performance by the Forward Marching Band.
And that whistle means we're gonna get started with the action. We've got Knocking Jay out there jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She'll be jamming against Berserkly of the Vaudeville Vixens.
That's right, both jammers off to a fast start here. Just a quick score recap, we do have the Reservoir Dolls at 95 points, Vaudeville Vixens at 82. Just beginning the second half. No lead jammer called yet. Lots of strong defense. We got the Vaudeville Vixens up and keeping Knocking Jay back at the front of the pack.
Jean DeSnark and One Hit Wanda working at the front of the pack there to hold back Knocking Jay. Meanwhile, Berserkly getting through and picking up lead jammer status for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yep, definitely a great jam for the Vixens to start off with, getting lead jam, get some momentum going into this second half. Speaking of momentum, we've got Berserkly her momentum is carrying her right into a wall of Reservoir Dolls. She's gonna pick up 3 points and call off that jam. So 3 points Vixens, 0 points Reservoir Dolls there.
And Reservoir Dolls with a 10-point lead over the Vixens and a whole period here almost left to go, -1 jam. Out there on the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, we've got Charlie Hustle jamming for the Reservoir Dolls up against Black Velvet for the Vaudeville Vixens. Black Velvet taking an initial outside line there, trying to work her way past, and she gets through the wall of Reservoir Dolls. Black Velvet is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yeah, you had Shenanigans in the heat doing their best to keep Black Velvet back. Looks like Shenanigans going to the penalty box on a penalty. We've got Black Velvet getting through, taking a scoring pass, picking up 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Meanwhile, Charlie Hustle in the pack, going down a couple times, once with one of her blockers and once with another Vixen blocker there. She's finally out of the pack, eligible to score points, and Black Velvet picking up another 4 points through the pack. A lot of back and forth to the WORT Back Porch Radio in Madison penalty box there, Rich. I saw skaters back and forth getting into the pack. Never really a full pack of 4-on-4 blockers either.
Seems like that WORT penalty box has been a popular place tonight, Dolly.
WORT is another one of our great sponsors, Rich. Back Porch Radio in Madison. Everybody should tune in any time of the day or night to hear great alternative music, news, and public affairs programming.
Now, getting back down to the action on the track, we have Kenna Vendetta taking lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's jamming against Blitz Siren, who is right on her heels.
And Kenna Vendetta decides to call off the jam as her and Blitz Siren race around the track, just kind of inches apart. Good plan by Kenna Vendetta, strategically playing it so that the Reservoir Dolls can't score any points on that jam either. Vaudeville Vixens just 2 points away from the Reservoir Dolls' lead of 95 points. This game is anybody's game, Rich, and It's been back and forth the entire first period.
And this has been a fantastic game. I am having so much fun watching it and talking about it.
And we're gonna have even more fun in this jam as we watch Shantastic McAwesome jam up against Lady Hoo-Ha for the Reservoir Dolls. Shantastic McAwesome is out of the pack first and is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Got Lady Hoo-Ha being stopped out there by Darling Nikki. Darling Nikki was chasing her to the bitter end, ended up having to let her go. In the meantime, we've got Shantastic McAwesome getting to the front of the pack, calling off the jam after picking up 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Shantastic McAwesome doing an awesome job there of just bursting around and through the outside there, picking up those points and calling off the jam.
With that awesome jam, we do have another lead change. Reservoir Dolls now at 95 against Vaudeville Vixens 97.
And on the jammer line for the Vaudeville Vixens, we have Jocelyn Hell jamming against Shenanigans of the Reservoir Dolls. Shenanigans met in the back by a wall of blockers from the Vaudeville Vixens. That's Hoppy Go Lucky, Montana Slamma, Donna Stunner, and Whiskey Chaser. Trying to hold back Shenanigans there.
With 8 limbs on that blocking wall, we call that the Blocktopus.
Jocelyn Hell making it past the Resdoll blockers on the track there. Mass Myrtle, Charlie Hustle, The Heat, and Sasspot.
Jocelyn Hell gonna sneak around that outside lane as she calls off the jam, only picking up 1 point on that pass. However, the Reservoir Dolls did not put any points up on the board that jam. So I'm sure the Vixens are going to be happy with that jam.
And that's how this game has been going, Rich. A lot of quick jams, quick turnarounds, unless that other jammer is in the penalty box or they don't have lead jam and can't call it off. So we've got 95 points for the Reservoir Dolls to Vaudeville Vixens 98 points.
Looks like we have an official review having been called for by the Vaudeville Vixens. So we'll have a moment as the details of that get sussed out on the center of the track. In the meantime, I'd like to give a shout out to one of our other delightful sponsors, One Barrel Brewing Company. One Barrel Brewing Company down at 2001 Atwood Avenue. Beer that's handmade in small batches with love.
And boy, is it delicious. Check out One Barrel Brewing Company, right on the corner there. I'd also like to give a shout out here. Mr. Saucer gives a big shout out to all the prairie enthusiasts in the crowd.
We do have another shout out to another group sale ticket of tickets tonight.
Another one of our groups, Rich? Who do we have out there?
That would be the Rob Group. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
The Rob Group, right over there. Welcome.
I'm seeing some pink over there. Maybe am I going out on a limb to call you guys Vixens fans? At least a few of you over there. Thank you very much for coming out. Hope you guys are having a great time. We do have another shout out here. This one, Leah says, Merry Christmas to the Narrows family. Ed has cheese. And you guys can't see it. I wish I could convey it with my voice, but there is a delightful piece of art here. Got an eye with a big toothy grin. Kind of looks like John Lane over here.
And the official review was that the Vaudeville Vixens contested the number of points scored on that last jam, but the call stands. So we'll resume play now on the track with Lip Smacker jamming for the Reservoir Dolls going up against Black Velvet of the Vaudeville Vixens. And Black Velvet
taking lead jam, almost to say, okay, you wouldn't give us those points in the official review? Well, I'm going to take them out on the track.
Black Velvet around the track already and eligible to score points. Meanwhile, it looks like Reservoir Dolls jammer Lip Smacker sent to the WORT penalty box. That'll give Black Velvet and the Vaudeville Vixens a power jam. Black Velvet making it through, picking up a Minnie of Madison Grand Slam and 5 points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
That does put the Vaudeville Vixens over the century mark. That's 103 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. We've got Black Velvet coming around the track. Gets around the outside after a little bit of a tussle, picking up another Minnie of Madison Grand Slam and 5 more points before calling off that jam.
And she called off that jam very seriously, you know, like she just determined. She knew what she was doing there, picking up 10 points on that jam, keeping the Reservoir Dolls to 0 and bringing the Vixens lead to 108 against the Reservoir Dolls 95.
Getting down to that Monkey Bar Jim jammer line. We've got number 9, that's Kenna Vendetta jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's jamming against number W01F, Call It to Wild. Kenna Vendetta gonna get through taking a lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens. Looking back to the pack as Kenna Vendetta is coming around. Call It to Wild just getting through as we've got 2 Vaudeville Vixens blockers. That's number 3, One Hit Wanda, and number 10, 8 Magnitude 10 going off to that WRT penalty box. So looks like Call It to Wild also went to the penalty box. So now we've got a power jam for Kenna Vendetta and the Vaudeville Vixens.
And Kenna Vendetta making it past all the Reservoir Dolls, calling off that jam, picking up 4 points and bringing the Vixen lead to 112 to the Reservoir Dolls 95. We've got a couple shout outs here to some of the Reservoir Dolls. One is to Chairman Mao. Way to kill it and welcome to MRD. So glad I got to see your debut bout. From Brown. So congratulations, Chairman Mao. Back on the track, we've got Call It a Wild in the box jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She'll wait to jam up against Shantastic McAwesome on the track, jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yeah, Shantastic McAwesome taken to the outside. Looks like due to some of the rules beta testing, there might be a little bit of confusion around whether or not she was okay or if she had cut the track. She did go back, come back in, and now she's around to make her scoring pass.
And because she passed everybody legally in inbounds, she's your lead jammer as well. Shantastic McAwesome making it through the pack there to pick up a Minnie of Madison Grand Slam and 5 points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Got Res Dolls jammer Call It to Wild back on the track. However, that jam is going to be called off before she can get around to put any points up on the board. That's 2 points on that last pass for the Vixens, bringing their score up to 7 points for that last jam. Brings our score to Reservoir Dolls 95, Vaudeville Vixens 119, with just over 20 minutes remaining in this game.
And lining up on the Monkey Bar Jim Jammer line, we have Chairman Mao jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She'll be jamming against Berserkly of the Vaudeville Vixens. Chairman Mao trying to break her way through or past the Vaudeville Vixens up in the front.
She is going to find that inside lane, takes lead jam for the Reservoir Dolls. Got Berserkly trying to do a little bit of an apex hop at the back there, took a spill. She is through the pack though. Chairman Mao gonna get through real quick, picking up 4 points for the Reservoir Dolls, calling off the jam.
And leaving the Vixens with 0 that jam. Great job by Chairman Mao, bringing the Reservoir Dolls up to 99 points with her 4-point jam.
Reservoir Dolls only trailing by 20 points. So really close game tonight, Dolly.
It's a great game here. Out there jamming for the Reservoir Dolls, we've got Lady Hoo-Ha. on the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, going up against Black Velvet for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Both of these jammers, the high-scoring jammers for both of their teams. Lady Hoo-Ha with 63 points, Black Velvet with 54. Black Velvet through first, going to take lead jam for the Vixens. However, Lady Hoo-Ha is right behind her.
She is, Rich, and Lady Hoo-Ha is trying to pass up Black Velvet. Black Velvet finding an inside line, trying to call off that jam. She calls it off and picks up 3 points, but not before Lady Hoo-Ha also makes her way through and picks up 4 points for the Reservoir Dolls. So we've got Reservoir Dolls at 103, Vaudeville Vixens at 122. Both of those jammers, lead scoring jammers for their teams. Lady Hoo-Ha with 67 points so far in this bout. Black Velvet with 57 points so far in this bout. But on the jammer line now, we've got Shenanigans jamming for the Reservoir Dolls up against Kenna Vendetta for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Shenanigans going to knock Kenna Vendetta out to the outside, recycle her back, and start going before she can really get back in. So picking up a little bit of momentum, but Kenna Vendetta doesn't let that keep her down. She does get through to take lead jam from Vaudeville Vixens.
And meanwhile, the Vaudeville Vixens holding back Shenanigans in the pack, while Kenna Vendetta skates around the track, trying to pick up some points. And it looks like a big pile up there, a couple people falling down. Kenna Vendetta and Charlie Hustle sent to the WORT penalty box. That's going to leave Shenanigans with a power jam here for the Reservoir Dolls.
Shenanigans.
Shenana, I like to call her. I know she likes to be called Guns, but Shenanigans trying to fight her way past the last 3 Vaudeville Vixen blockers. She does so and picks up a grand slam and 5 points for the Reservoir Dolls.
And of course, since we had the lead jammer go out to the penalty box, this jam will go out to the full 2 minutes. Definitely a great opportunity for the Reservoir Dolls to start closing that score gap.
And both jammers now just trying to score as many points as they can before the jam ends. Shenanigans through the pack. Another Minnie Madison grand slam and 5 more points for the Reservoir Dolls.
See, we've got both jammers back on the track now. Of course, like I said, nobody can call this jam off. They're both just going to have to keep skating and getting points. That's 4 more points for Shenanigans and the Reservoir Dolls. It's like a little tumble there, keeps Kenna Vendetta, knocks her to the outside.
She's recycled back to the back of the pack behind Charlie Hustle. Meanwhile, Shenanigans getting back through the pack and picking up a couple points for the Reservoir Dolls. Total points scored in that jam by Shenanigans, 16 points for the Reservoir Dolls against Kenna Vendetta's 7 points for the Vaudeville Vixens, and that'll bring the Reservoir Dolls to just 10 points below the Vaudeville Vixens lead of 129. So it's a 119 game to 129, just 10 points, and still over 16 minutes left.
And as we've seen in that last jam and in jam after jam this bout, 10 points can change any single jam. Getting back down to the action on the pack, we have Shantastic McAwesome jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens up against Blitz Siren for the Reservoir Dolls.
And Shantastic McAwesome out of the pack first. She is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens. Shantastic McAwesome out round the track already. Through the pack, gets knocked around, calls the jam off, but picks up 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens, keeping the Reservoir Dolls with 0 points that jam.
Definitely some fast-paced jams happening here. Really not a lot of slow-paced action in this in this game, Dolly.
Not at all. We don't even have time to read some sponsors or shout-outs. We got to get back down to the action and let you know what Lady Hoo-Ha's going to do jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She's going to be jamming against Jocelyn Hell for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Lady Hoo-Ha taking that outside lane, takes a little bit of a tumble, ended up picking up a back block penalty on her way out. Off to the WRT penalty box she goes. That means that Jocelyn Hell has an opportunity to take lead jam and take part in a power jam.
The Vaudeville Vixens trying to hold back one of the Reservoir Dolls blockers there, so they give Jocelyn Hell an advantage in jamming against just 3 of the wall of Reservoir dolls. Jocelyn held through the pack for a Minnie Madison grand slam and 5 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens. And she's fighting a wall up there of Call It a Wild and Knocking Jay. She gets through, picks up another Minnie Madison grand slam. And just as Lady Hoo-Ha catches up to her out of the penalty box, Jocelyn Hell calls off the jam, picking up 10 points. That jam, leaving the Reservoir Dolls with 0. And that brings the Vaudeville Vixens to 143, Reservoir Dolls with 119. Both teams got both of their timeouts, and we still have just under 14 minutes to go. Rich, this is an exciting game.
I can barely contain myself, Dolly.
And on the track now, we've got Charlie Hustle jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She's jamming against Black Velvet, and Black Velvet for the Vaudeville Vixens has gotten out of the pack first. She is your lead jammer.
Res Dolls jammer Charlie Hustle also free of the pack, gonna look to make her scoring pass. However, Black Velvet calls off that jam after picking up 4 points.
Black Velvet, high scorer again, like we said, now up to 61 points for the Vaudeville Vixens. And let me tell you folks, she's a rookie this year on the Vaudeville Vixens as well. So great job in her first year, this bout especially. Really just playing as a smart jammer out there on the track. Strong, getting through the pack, knowing what to do.
Yep.
We've got jamming on the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line. Shantastic McAwesome for the Vixens up against Chairman Mao for the Reservoir Dolls.
Shantastic McAwesome getting through, taking lead jam for her team. Chairman Mao, though, also through the pack, gonna look to close that gap, coming around as they both jammers start making their scoring pass.
And Chairman Mao making her way through the pack, picking up 4 points for the Reservoir Dolls. Shantastic McAwesome also picking up 4 points. She decides to call off that jam. 4 points for each jammer in that jam.
I'd like to take a moment to thank another one of our sponsors, Just Coffee. Just Coffee has bike-delivered fair trade organic coffee roasted here in Madison. That's Just Coffee.
And on the Monkey Bar Gym jammer line, we have Lady Hoo-Ha jamming for the Reservoir Dolls going up against Kenna Vendetta jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. And the Vaudeville Vixens jammers, blockers, Darling Nikki, Lemon Dropkick, Whiskey Chaser, and Feminine Hijinks. Holding up Lady Hoo-Ha, Kenna Vendetta is your lead jammer. This jam, and she just makes her way past whatever pack is left out there, picking up a grand slam.
Everybody wanted to head down to the WRT penalty box. As such, the pack is just flying by. There is no real pack to speak of right now.
I think both of the jammer is hitting the pack now. Both of them are. Kenna Vendetta through the pack, calling it off just as Lady Hoo-Ha hits the pack. But yeah, you're right, Rich. That pack was diminished to just 3 or 4 skaters that looked like they might be the jammers out there as well. A lot of skaters over there standing or sitting in the penalty box, the WRT penalty box. And yeah, great job there by the Vaudeville Vixens, 8 points on that jam to the Reservoir Dolls, 4 points. Lady Hoo-Ha picking up 4 points. And we're gonna have Donna Stunner on the track as the only blocker there. She goes up against the jammer for the Reservoir Dolls, Charlie Hustle. Charlie Hustle, though, gets lead jammer status, getting past that one blocker out there on the track.
It looks like that WRT penalty box is slowly but surely emptying out. That pack is looking stronger and stronger out there. Ooh, Res Dolls jammer Charlie Hustle called out on a back block penalty. That gives the Vixens and Berserkly a power jam.
That's right, Berserkly not lead jammer for this jam, but eligible to score points now and just picking up a Minnie Madison Grand Slam and 5 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens. She'll have 30 seconds while Charlie Hustle is in the WRT penalty box on a power jam. And Berserkly skates through that pack for another Mini Madison Grand Slam and 5 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Meanwhile, Charlie Hustle is back on the track, engaging the back of the pack. Looks like she's almost pushed to the outside, dances around on the tips of her skates to stay in play.
A little bit of hopping there, it looks like. Meanwhile, Berserkly getting through on the inside there, picking up 4 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
And Berserkly had taken off the jammer cover at some point there, looking like she might be doing a star pass or a star stash.
But no,
she kept that star cover.
Still keeping it on. Berserkly scoring 46 points this bout for the Vaudeville Vixens so far.
Definitely a strong showing there. Looks like we have Resdal's jammer Charlie Hustle taking another trip to the penalty box. So in this jam, we have another power jam for Berserkly.
But it looks like Berserkly's not the jammer, it's Feminine Hijinks. And Feminine Hijinks was past the jammer star. Not in time to get any points there on the board as the jam did come to its conclusion. The whistles blew there, so we'll start the next jam out with some new jammers. First, I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Roman Candle Pizzeria. It's a place where family, friends, and neighbors can gather for good times and even better pizza at Roman Candle.
I've got another of your shout outs here. This one, Creeper. Are you saving seats for your friends? I certainly hope you are, Creeper.
And down to the action on the track now, we've got Black Velvet jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. Black Velvet is your lead jammer. She'll be jamming against Charlie Hustle of the Reservoir Dolls.
That's right, Dolly. Charlie Hustle still in the penalty box from the end of that last jam. Now back on the track, fighting against the full blocking force of the Vaudeville Vixens against One Hit Wanda, 8 Magnitude 10, Neon Arzak, and Montana Slamma.
Meanwhile, Black Velvet around the track picking up a Mini Madison Grand Slam and 5 more points for the Vaudeville Vixens. She tries to find her way and does through an inside line, picking up another 4 points just as Charlie Hustle gets out of the pack and is eligible to score points. Great jam by Black Velvet there, picking up another 9 points for the Vaudeville Vixens, bringing their lead to 182 to the Reservoir Dolls 130 points.
Have another of your shout outs here. This one is a congratulations to Resdal Wolfie on becoming part of the Dairyland Dolls.
That's right, Rich. Wolfie is Call It a Wild. If you notice, her number is WOLF, or looks like it at least. So we call it.
So congratulations to her for making the Dairyland Dolls travel team. Getting back down to the action on the track now, though, we have Jocelyn Hell jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens. She's jamming against Lip Smacker on the Reservoir Dolls. Both jammers fighting against their respective opposing teams of blockers. Lots of pushing back and forth across the track there.
And it looks like Lip Smacker making her way to the front just to pass Dalek Doll. She does. And Lip Smacker is your lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls this jam. Ooh, a nice hit, or a big hit there to Hoppy Go Lucky, knocked down on the infield.
Yeah, Hoppy took a bit of a spill earlier in this jam, too. Seems like that one might have rattled her a little bit more than the last one. But she is up and back in the action. Got both jammers kind of pushing away here. We got Lip Smacker up the front. She does get through, picking up a 5-point Mini of Madison Grand Slam.
And Hoppy Go Lucky is out of the pack there. I think she got knocked down and targeted there because she is actually the Vixen's active jammer.
That's right, she even passed that panty cover, so we have a star pass that has gone down. Star is now on her helmet. Didn't quite get by for any points on that last pass before the jam is called off. That does bring our score up to Reservoir Dolls 137, Vaudeville Vixens 182, with just over 5 minutes remaining in this game.
And that was a 7-point jam for the Reservoir Dolls, Rich. They're going to need a few more like that to decrease that Vixen lead they have. We've got a shout out here that goes out to One Hit Wanda, to one of the greatest Gross skating coaches at MIA. One of the greatest skating coaches at MIA. At MIA. Not sure what that other word is, so I just can't read it. But way to go, One Hit Wanda. You're an awesome skating coach.
Got another shout out here to the Block Ness Monster. You really are the beast of legend all the Scots fear.
That's right, Block Ness Monster is a beast of legend. I like that.
Not nearly as elusive as perhaps her namesake, Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster is. As you can see, Block Ness Monster, every time she takes to the field, skating out for the Reservoir Dolls. Getting back down to the action on the track, though. Who do we have jamming tonight, Dolly?
We've got Shantastic McAwesome jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens, going up against Lady Hoo-Ha jamming for the Reservoir Dolls in this jam. And it looks like Lady Hoo-Ha trying to break out of the wall of Vixens. She does so and is your lead jammer for the Reservoir Dolls.
Shantastic McAwesome also out of the pack, skating fast, looking to close up some of that distance, but Lady Hoo-Ha is not known for her slow jamming.
And Whiskey Chaser knocks Lady Hoo-Ha to the outside line there. Gives a little bit of a yell like, what up, Lady Hoo-Ha? But then they both embrace. So as y'all know, we play this hard-hitting, full contact sport. And while we're out there on the track, we are not friends with the other team. But once that jam ends, these gals out there, they skate together, they train together, they run this league together. So come and join us at the after party, and you'll see that they all get along just fine off the track.
That's right, our after party tonight is down at the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 1318. That's located down on 133 East Lakeside Street. Come on down, join us for a drink and a good time at the after party.
That's right, Rich. The VFW is just a left, and then another left, and then another left, right out of this block, just down a little ways from the Alliant Energy Center.
Do have another shout out for one of our sponsors, Super Duper. We offer digital offset, letterpress, and hand silkscreen printing, and we specialize in CD and DVD packaging and manufacturing. Thank you very much, Super Duper. Not to be confused with Super Uper.
That's right, Rich. Super Uper does a lot of great printing of all of our Bout posters, as well as our handbills and tickets in the past and all that stuff.
We are back down to the action on the track, though. We've got Shenanigans jamming for the Reservoir Dolls. She is jamming against Kenna Vendetta of the Vaudeville Vixens.
And Kenna Vendetta up in the front against a Res Doll wall. Blockers Mass Myrtle, Charlie Hustle, The Heat, and Sassbot just can't keep her back, though. Kenna Vendetta is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
That's right, Kenna Vendetta slips right through that pack. Like, don't know where she found that breach, but she found it, picked up 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens, and lost virtually no speed as she's coming back around for another scoring pass.
That's right, Kenna Vendetta approaching the pack now, trying to take the outside lane. She gets knocked to the outside, but going right back against that pack of blockers. Meanwhile, the Vaudeville Vixen blockers, One Hit Wanda, A Magnitude 10, Darling Nikki, and Donna Stunner, holding back Shenanigans. And a couple being called off to the WORT penalty box.
Yeah, it looks like Mass Myrtle and Sassbot for the Reservoir Dolls are going to be starting this next jam in the WRT penalty box. Things are definitely coming down to the wire, though. We only have 3 minutes remaining in this half. Currently, the Reservoir Dolls have 141 points, Vaudeville Vixens 186.
And both jammers look like they scored 4 points that last jam. Jamming for the Reservoir Dolls, we have Blitz Siren on the Monkey Bar Jim Jammer line, going up against Berserkly for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yeah, a lot of chaos going on in that pack, lots of mixing of teams. However, looks like Blitz Siren, jammer for the Reservoir Dolls, went out on a penalty. That gives Berserkly and the Vixens a power jam.
And that's a great benefit for the Vixens and their jammer Berserkly here. now eligible for 30 seconds of just their jammer on the track.
Well, and there were only 2 blockers for the Reservoir Dolls on the track just a moment ago. However, Mass Myrtle and Sassbot have been released from the penalty box, are back on the track, looking to put a little bit of defense, a little bit of a crimp in those Vixens' plans.
Chairman Mao knocking down Berserkly there. She gets back up and is through the pack as Blitz Siren is back on the track for the Reservoir Dolls. So Berserkly another 4 points on that pass for the Vaudeville Vixens. Blitz Siren now blocking her way through a Vaudeville Vixen wall on her lead pass through the pack. Berserkly making her way through for another 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Yeah, Berserkly doesn't look interested in calling that jam off yet. With a lead like what they have with the amount of time remaining, that's really not a bad idea to just hold on to the lead that they have. If they get in trouble, she can call off the jam. But where is it? She's just going around. She's getting points.
And Blitz Siren picking up 4 points for the Reservoir Dolls. That jam does come to an end. Reservoir Dolls with 145 points. Vaudeville Vixens with 197. Berserkly with 8 points in that last jam. Berserkly with 54 points this entire bout so far. Just second in scoring to Black Velvet with 70 points. And you can see the majority of those point scorers there. Black Velvet jamming for the Vaudeville Vixens now up against Lady Hoo-Ha, who has 71 points for the Reservoir Dolls.
That's right.
So this will be a great jam.
Yeah, we've got Black Velvet breaking through first to take lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens.
She's been doing that a lot this evening, folks, and I think that's why the Vaudeville Vixens have the score that they do above the Reservoir Dolls. But we'll see what happens this bout. Black Velvet through the pack as your lead jammer with 4 points for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Looks like Lady Hoo-Ha's picked up another penalty. I believe that was I'm sorry, I missed the call, but she is going to be spending 30 seconds in the WRT penalty box. This gives Black Velvet and the Vixens another power jam.
And it looks like this power jam is going to keep going. We've had a lot of penalties on the Reservoir Dolls team. We've got a couple of jammers, a couple of skaters with 5 or 6 penalties, whereas the Vixens only have a couple skaters with 3 or 4 penalties. So just doing a great job of defensively holding back the Reservoir Doll jammer. These Vixens call off the jam, and Black Velvet picking up 9 points in that jam. They are going to win this game, folks.
Yeah, it looks like our unofficial final score is sitting at Reservoir Dolls 146, Vaudeville Vixens 210.
What a game, Rich. These teams both played just outstanding. Great defense by the Vaudeville Vixens. Really clean job playing. Some of the Reservoir Dolls getting in trouble with some high penalties, going off the track too much. Lady Hoo-Ha with 72 points, though, for the Reservoir Dolls, outscored by Black Velvet, who got 82 points for the Vixens. 54 for the Vixens Berserkly. Kenna Vendetta with 33 points, and Shantastic McAwesome with 23. Just a great job by the Vaudeville Vixens, Rich.
Yeah, great job by both teams. I mean, really, it's like the effort was, like the point scoring was spread around pretty evenly. You know, you had your outliers like Black Velvet and Lady Hoo-Ha picking up a lot of points.
I don't think anybody can hear us over the Vixen fans cheering for their team. Great job. Please check out the team booths at the back of the hall on your way out. Come and see our next bout on April 23rd.
That's right. And of course, come down and join us at the VFW for our after party. We'd love to see you there. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Rich Mahogany.
I'm Dolly Pardon Me. And until we see one another next time, love and roller derby to you all.